Have you ever wanted to have absolute transparency in your relationship and absolute loyalty? Well, stick around because today's video is going to talk about exactly that. I'm Laban Ditchburn.
And I'm Anna Ditchburn.
And welcome back to another episode of Purpose Partners for Life. So when Anna and I first got together, I made a proposal to her. And I said to Anna, darling, I've lived a life. And you can read about more of the hedonism in my book, Bet on You, available on Amazon. And you can ask me anything you want about my past, but the condition is that you have to be happy to hear the answer. And I'd read a book by Mark Manson called Models, the same guy that wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up. And the book was about attracting women through honesty. And I started doing this in 2017 before I met Anna, and I yielded some really positive results from the relationships that I did have. And boy, howdy, did Anna take me up on that. What was the result of me giving you that permission in your thinking?
So firstly, I thought, who is this guy? After being in so many toxic relationships where the trust just wasn't a thing even, I was like, wow, I've never experienced this before. And I had my own life that I lived, that I wasn't going voluntarily to share, not even voluntarily at all. And when I was asking you some questions, Laban, and you were answering so openly and honestly, and some questions were really tough, and some information that you've shared, you probably wouldn't just share normally. It really made me feel like I can trust this guy. I feel safe with him for some reason. And it wasn't easy to take this information on, but you know what? It really laid the foundation for our strong relationships because there was nothing to hide. There was nothing to be worried about, to be ashamed about. Like, if you like me this way, cool. If you don't like me this way, doesn't matter. Because so many people, especially at the very beginning of relationships, are trying to be liked, are trying to show themselves as not who they are. But you've really attracted me through the honesty. And it really made me feel safe to open up about my past. And for the very first time, I shared with you about my childhood sexual abuse.
Which you hadn't told anyone for 20
For
years.
20 years. I just knew you would get me. I knew you would understand me. And we had something in common, like parents were divorced, some physical abuse and some challenges in our life. That's, I think, what was the most important foundation for our relationships, is because we could relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing, if you really want to be liked by someone, is not to show who you are or what kind of things you can do, but is to find something you can relate with your partner.
And I think one thing that's really important, like I know personally people that have been in marriages for 27 years and only in the last 12 months have been totally transparent about a visit to a strip club when that person was 18. And there was some religion, attached to that as well. So there was some shame even before they were together. And that lie was eating that person up the entire time. And there's a great quote. It's like, if you tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying that there isn't things that in full transparency, because there is things that you want to just keep to yourself from time to time. But the things that are important, I knew that Anna was the woman that I wanted to be with, and she was my dream woman that I created. And I was willing to risk it all so that I didn't have to hide behind any of my past. And that was a real act of courage. And I took a risk and it paid off. And I realized that if it hadn't paid off, then that relationship was not destined to be together. And then it gave Anna the confidence to open up maybe a year later about what you'd
Mm-hmm.
gone through. And there was even some judgment towards me when I did share some of the stuff that I went through, which you very quickly got over, thankfully. And then all the while, Anna had this big, deep, dark secret. And when she told me, it was such a huge weight off me, because subconsciously it explained so much of what I was intuitively picking up, even though I wasn't conscious of it with my main conscious mind, and was able to be a support mechanism for you to start your healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
And look at how far you've come these days. So I hope this video was helpful today. If you resonate this and you would like more of this kind of content, Anna and I run a monthly challenge. If you go to purposepartnersforlife.com, you can register for our next one of those, whatever time frame that you're watching this video. Put your comments and your questions in the chat below if you're watching this on YouTube, and we'll see what we can do about answering some of the challenges that you have in your own relationship. You can be anonymous if you like, but there might be an opportunity for us to answer your question directly.